It was a decent week, I would say, overall for the metals and the miners. We went up, but we closed down on Friday. So now it's looking like a bit of a retracement continuing early next week. And then let's see. I'm of the opinion that we're going to continue breakout. I don't think we've had the silver breakout yet. I think gold wants to maybe retrace a bit, but I reckon silver doesn't. So we may have a bit of outperformance with silver if there's a drop overall, and if there's a move up, I think silver definitely outperforms. So I reckon we're going to see some silver outperformance, silver mine outperformance continuing. I'm going to start with the dollar. I don't even think it's that relevant. The dollar's still chilling below 100.5. I think the level really was 100.6. We've been below that for some time. 100 is it a level? Not really. I mean, the lows maybe of this week have been pretty much just above 100. The level to watch is really 99.5. Forget it. I mean, whether we go up a little bit, which I don't think we will, I think we're going to drift lower, test 99.5, bounce, close below it, and then what? Then we flush. That should send gold back up for even newer highs. I think this 2700 plus close on a daily basis, we haven't had that yet. We will have that if we close below 99.5. So just to finish with the dollar, I don't think it's that relevant, but I think we will drift lower. We might as well bounce down here since we've already been closing under here for some time. It's not exactly strong. It's it's weak. I mean, it's not the weakest close, but it's weak. Look, Friday we went to lower lows. We didn't close, but still you know, proves that it's still not strong. So I think we drift down here, we bounce a little bit. Go on, let's draw that in. Something like, maybe we go up a little bit, whatever. We go here, we bounce, and no. And then once you close below 99.5, ciao. Then we go down, we'll see, yeah, probably to around about there. Wow, that's a straight line. And then we'll see, and we don't care. By this point, we should be below 20, above 2,700 in gold. Yeah, let's go check out bonds. It should be pretty similar stuff. We've had a bounce. Yeah, no, bonds were outperforming, but look, we've hit this descending and back down we go, right? That's the weakest candle, so that should see us go lower, at least to retest this level here, at least. We could bounce from there and who knows, eventually break out, but we're gonna go down this way, and that should send the dollar to 99.5. Look at the 10-year, same sort of stuff, right? I forgot to draw that in, but it's the same thing. So we should go back down. That should send us to 99.5. The 5-year even weaker, the 2-year even weaker. Look at that. That would really do it. Just a close below this last candle here, 3.5. 3.5, close below 3.5 on the 2-year. Then we start going lower, not in one go all the way down here, but just going lower again, DXY below 99.5. Gold will definitely have a move up on that day, and we could even see a higher close than 2,700. Let's look at gold. So gold has been going up non-stop, and I like to just remember this period. Remember this period here, when we were like here or here. Remember this day? Everyone got excited, me included, but look at that big drop. Oh no, it's not going to be another rejection of what it was. But eventually, boom, and we never looked back. We quickly hit this high, which was very impressive because that was a massive high and obviously very bearish candle that day. So that took several weeks, even months to then make up for. And what happened? We went all the way up there in 2 days, 3 days, went higher, retested, and then broke even higher, never looked back. Look, this is how far we retraced. The lowest retracement was 2280 after taking out this 2200. We don't remember these levels, which is a good thing actually. Then what? Like consolidation, but ascending, very strong. And then bam, next level was 2480. I remember that. That's as far back as my memory goes. Broke out of that, retested, and we go even higher. Did we retest the next breakout of 2530? No, we didn't. And we went higher. It's ridiculous. You zoom out on a weekly. I've got a massive screen, but that's just one entire vertical move up. So what happens now? Let's go back to daily. Well, two things. I feel like cleaning this up a little bit. So what happens now? I mean, some people think we're going to come and have a big drop to here, which would be very healthy. And then what are we going to do? We're going to bounce. The trend is your friend. Even if we come all the way down here, we're still very bullish. Or do we just keep going? I I'm more of the opinion that we just go sideways and keep going, actually. I think I don't even know what the RSI is. I could check it out here, but the RSI is probably just screaming up 80, 90. It doesn't matter. It can just continue for weeks, especially on a commodity. This is a global, this isn't some small stock. This is gold, the global currency. We have wars, we have Hezbollah escalation, the entire rank and file, almost like the top brass of Hezbollah has just been whacked. I think there's just one person out of like 30 that's remaining. It's incredible. I have to admit, very impressed. I didn't expect Israel to pull that off. They have the pager explosions, the walkie-talkie explosions, and then they have the actual, F-15, F-16s, F-12, whatever, 32s, all of them, 35s and 22s, whacking everyone, including lots of civilians, of course, but they took out Nasrallah. That's huge. That's been official today/yesterday. So that's weekend post-market close news. Point is, that's escalation, right? You can't just get away with that. I don't think you really take out Hezbollah just by taking out the commanders. You do a lot of damage, and they took out a lot of the ammunition storage. So they definitely took them out quite a bit, but Iran's pretty pissed. They're suggesting that they're going to place some soldiers in Lebanon. They lost a few Revolutionary Guard members, so they're not happy about that, and they still haven't had their revenge. Hamas is now like a footnote, but they haven't gone away. So Israel's kind of done a very impressive shock and awe campaign, preemptive, done a lot of damage, but maybe the retaliation is a bit more long term. So I reckon, let's just put it this way, in terms of the market reaction, you're not gonna de-escalate the situation by doing what you've just done. So you've done an impressive little hit, but now comes the response. So more upside move or more wind in the sails of gold, at least in terms of escalation. Ukraine, I mean, that just continues. If Trump is elected, this is probably not what's going on in gold right now, but if Trump is elected, you're going to have peace. You're going to have peace. You're going to have a settlement that is pro-Russian because Russia's won, so the winners determine the conditions of the treaty, right? It's not Ukraine or even America that's going to decide. It's going to be a lot of lost territory. But whatever the peace treaty is, peace would be bad for gold. Obviously, it's good for the world. We should all be for peace in Ukraine. Jesus Christ, that's an absolute bloodbath. But if Harris, I don't know how the hell she could get elected. These polls suggesting it's 50-50. It's just weird. It's obviously fake polling, but and they can steal the election, we know that. If Harris wins, that would be pro-gold because the war will continue at least a little bit longer than if Trump is elected. But the wars are definitely helping. China's stimulus is absolutely definitely helping. This week really helped. You can't see it because gold is constantly going up. But let's just say the trend is favorable for gold, whether it's geopolitics, whether it's geoeconomics, if I can call it that, for China, macro monetary, everything is for gold. So that's why we've had a massive move up. So let's look at it technically. Now that's out the way. It wasn't the best candle on Friday. Friday was a bad day for the metals, but a healthy one. We didn't close below the low of the week or even below the low of Thursday, although we ventured lower. It's still neither bullish nor bearish. So no idea actually what's going to happen. That's the truth. Next up is going to be a test of this area here, 26.85, the high. What you really want is 27 plus close. We've said what can happen for that to happen. Otherwise, it closed below Friday's low. I think that's the way you should play it. Just even on a weekly candle. Just on a weekly candle. So a close above the high of the week, 26.85. Close below. I don't know, that'd be a bit too late, wouldn't it? 26.14. Where do we go though? If we start to move down. Okay, yeah, that's your Monday candle. Ascending. For me, it's the ascending. So, let's say we move down. It'll take a while to get there, maybe 1 or 2 days, but you've got your ascending support. Probably a lot of, you can see here, the wicks coincides well with this. So 25.80 I've got as a level of support, like this area. If you go down, I don't see us going down here. That'd be too much of a drop. We do also have a level here. That was your breakout 25.30. So if you do go lower than here, if you go lower again, it's going to be here. So that makes sense. That's actually how I see it. Plus, you're hitting multiple levels, including this prior breakout. So that should be support. Yeah, that's what I've got for gold. Resistance is only one. It's the last high. It's 2685. 2700 isn't actually a level. It's a psychological level that will prove relevant for like 5 minutes intraday. Silver, oh, not the best. Not the best on Friday. The close, I'm going to say that's your level on, and it's 3150. Yeah, 3150. Okay, that's fair enough. This retest, look at this retest of the breakout. I reckon that was real, especially on an open and close basis. There's quite a lot of resistance into that. Look at that. Okay, so level one is where we are actually. It's 3150. Okay. Level two is going to be the retest again. So imagine you drop, it will be like 30.50. Yeah, I'd say 30.50. On the way down, that's probably a bit of a buy. If you go lower, I think 30, just for the psychology of the number. Then through 30. And if you go lower than that, then it's going to be the ascending, which is 29. But it depends how long it takes, it could end up being several days. I don't see it happening. I honestly, for silver, more than gold, if I can say that, I see the breakout. Remember that gold move that we looked at? Let's look at gold again. Remember this here, yeah? Oops. This here, this false breakout of 2100 is something that I'm looking to not happen this time with silver. So when silver goes, and what I think is going to happen is a bit of sideways up, up. Yeah, we don't want that candle, and I don't think it's going to happen. And that's not what happened here, huh? It wasn't what happened here. Once we come back, and I think it's going to happen again, 3250, we retest it, we may squeeze right away, but we may just do a fake fake out, a fake out. Like, oh no, it's not going, we're going to go back down. Actually, no, we're going to go back up. If we get to close above 3250, especially 33 on SLV, right? Why not silver too? But SLV 33. Wait, well, no, sorry. SLV is not 33. SLV 30. Sorry, SLV 30, of course, equals silver 33. That's what you want. You can see how SLV obviously just completely copies silver. So close above 29.6 on SLV and 30 on SLV should equal 33 on silver. And I think if you've got those two, silver 33 close daily, SLV 30 close daily, you're going to run. And you're going to run on silver. And I never talk about it like this, sound like going crazy, hyper run, hyperinflation. But I think you may get one of these, like the gold 2100 breakout. The gold 2100 breakout could be the silver 33 breakout. Not like 26. A lot of people, and I was also hyping 26, but I wasn't saying it was just some hyperinflation run. But if you get silver, yeah, I think if you start to run here, it's off. And where do we go? Because it's probably time, and I need to do a weekly look for this. It's probably time we start looking at this chart a bit more. Where do we run? We take out 32.5, let's say 33. Bam, it's running. Where do we go next? Yeah, 34, probably a bit above 34. Actually, I've looked at this before and I kind of agree. We're going to go above 34, 34 point something, right? 0.35. Then we retrace, not by much. It's going to get bought, this dip. Back to 33, maximum, not even. Up we go again, next level. Higher highs, 35 point, again, 35-ish, 35.4. Retrace, and we squeeze more. This would be a silver squeeze move, 37. How much of a percentage move is all that? From where we are, by the way. No, from 33 breakouts, from 32.5 breakout. 10%, 10%. You could do that in 2 days, 2 squeeze days, 1 mighty day to get to 38. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're going to have a squeeze in silver. I really do. Let's look at the miners. Okay, let's reset the chart. Miners, you expect this. Let's delete that. That's null and void. So we tested 52-ish on GDXJ. What's 52? That's this high up here. Totally makes sense. Right, I've had that line in for some time. That's the only high left, really. After that, what have I got? I got the high up here before the gap, 54 point something, 54.4, not even. After that, 55.8. These are like last lines before you start reaching the absolute highs from post. Can't believe we're not at post-COVID levels. For sure, we should get there, especially on the silver squeeze. I reckon you have a lot of upside in the miners. We're going to take a look at all the individual miners, but especially some of the silver miners. I mean, you combine those together, I mean, you can see how GDXJ can get to these astronomical levels. And still, we've got a long way to go. So I think I can remove this yellow. It's done its job. What have you got for GDXJ? Upside 52, downside 49. We're almost there. We could go a little lower on Monday for sure. If we go even lower, I'll leave this one in. You know what? This one's better. This one's a bit better. GDXJ. Kind of this level, retest. Yeah, so 49. And then if you keep going, yeah, 48. Okay, fair enough. 48, that's also a retest of here. That kind of looks like the silver chart playing out there in GDXJ. And that would make sense. I think it's all about silver now, actually. I think gold's done its job. It's like booster rockets. You're in space now. It's silver's time to keep going. So those are the two levels. I don't think there's much point. Well, actually, it could go a bit lower. If we go lower, we start taking out even this level, right? I think this level here, you'll find a lot of support between these two circles. Then you're just going to drop all the way down to here. And at that point, you're quite close to the ascending, which is also a gap fill. So there, I think we've covered everything. Bam, bam. That's what I see for GDXJ. I'm looking at the downside. Upside, which is what I'm more biased, 54. Yeah. If you go after that, yeah, we've already looked at this. I think we'll leave it there. I don't want to start looking higher, although I don't put it past the chance of that happening. Let's look at SILJ. Can't be too different. So yeah, here's your support. Next one would be here. Next one, silver will be a bit more exaggerated, whether it's on the way up or on the way down. I'm just going to do that. I think that's quite similar. That's a retest of breakout. Didn't think that line would be relevant anymore, but it could be there. It just coincide perfectly with the pre-gap fill here, the gap fill plus the ascending. That would be very strong support. I don't think we get there. Right now, where are we? We're here. That's done its job. That's no longer a level. Goodbye, goodbye. And then this little goodbye. At the moment, we're not really at a level. I'll just leave it as this extension of this. On the way up, obviously this week or last week's high. Yeah, that's it. That'll do for now. 1, 2. Why is this a level? Just a general level. I would actually move it up 15. Bit of a gap here. Bit of a gap. Go on, let's be a bit more aggressive because this could go crazy. If we're moving up there, it's because silver's above 33. So yes, we're going to go for 15/15.5 SILJ. And then the absolute move, you know what? I prefer to have it in and need it than to not have it in and need it. There we are, some wick gap in case it's looking weak around this area. I know it's also resistance in case I feel like selling what I bought. I will cover what I bought because I did buy. I chased during the week. I did some bad trading. I got really emotional. But as you can see, I think we're going higher, and that was the reason for it. So boom, boom, boom. I won't bother with the yellows. We know what that represents. Finally, GDX, the seniors, look at that. We hit the high up there. You can see that was a good sell. And I was probably buying around there. Again, I'll go through that. Stupid, really. I should have just gone out for a bike ride and left my good till cancel sells in as they were instead of canceling them and actually buying silver stocks. I mean, GDX really is senior gold stock, so you'll be able to see later with the charts they didn't go up as much, which makes sense. You know, Agnico, Newmont, they had nice moves, but you know they weren't going up as much as Coeur d'Alene and First Majestic and the other aggressive silver stocks that I like. On the way down, I mean, that was prior breakout, so go on, let's leave that in. Next one is the low from here. Next one is the gap. Yes, let's just move that there. It's only relevant because of that. This gap here, and then the ascending. Okay, let's do that. It's pretty much the same with all of them. Pre-gap, close of gap, and ascending, something like that. There you go. That makes sense. Let's now look at the individual miners. Right, let's take a look at Newmont. So Newmont, I rearranged some of the levels. To me, there's only one level really on the way down, covering the way down since we had a bit of a bearish Friday. So if there's any continuation, for me, it's really around here, right? That's your sort of the low of this area, roughly like there-ish, but also the ascending. Then you've got just underneath, it's pretty much the same level. In case it just gets a bit dramatized. Around here, 51.5 pre-gap fill, then the actual gap fill itself, 51. And then if you keep going lower there, and if you keep going the ascending, there's a lot, right? There's a lot of support on this one on the way down. It's very, very strong. I don't expect it to go down there, but I've got those levels just in case. Also, this one here, it's just a machine gun of buy levels, to be honest. So you should be okay, but very strong support, I would say around 52. 52, and I don't think we go below that. And if we do, not on a close basis. So, wow, you got so many support levels. I mean, you got 51.5, then you got 51, then you got 50. So it's pretty much every 50-cent increments, just a couple of areas where it's $1. Here, 49, right? After 50, it's 49. You got the ascending, and then down here, you got 48. A lot of support. On the way up, it's going to be that old high placed last week, also 52 new 52-week high. After that, I've got this area, but I don't think this really is strong resistance because if you zoom out, where are we there? We're here, right? It's this gap fill zone, so it's a bit of a level, but after that, you could say, okay, yes, 60 maybe. Not really though, even 60 is not much. Then you got this level here, right? It was support, and then it's weak resistance, so not even that much. Then you got this level here, 64. It's kind of support over here, but it's not really support or resistance there. So I don't know. It gets a bit hard to call. I mean, there are some areas that are easier to call, like this level here, right? Because of what happened here, resistance, support, support, resistance. This one's, but that's 70. Obviously, that's a level, and we're far from that. So here we're at sort of 55, we're just taking off 55. So it's not that obvious, the resistance on the way up, but that's fine. That means it might glide higher quite easily. Actually, just looking now, is this something we can use for the future? Maybe like this ascending resistance. I don't know. I'll leave that in case it's helpful, but it's hard to call actually resistance on the way up. You're probably better off looking at GDX because that has more identifiable levels of resistance. Right, Barrick Gold, that one might be a bit easier. So this now is here. Resistance is now 2120, the old, the latest highs. This 20 big round number is still support. You can see how that's acted quite well the last 1 or 2 weeks, so that's still there. Then after that, I'd say it's the low here, 19 big round number, and I don't think we're going to be taking that out. You know what? I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm not going to bother with lower levels, although it would be this next, and it's not going there. Ascending, no. So yeah, you got, here, you got here, you got here, and okay, we're not going to go lower. Resistance, you got here, and after that, yeah, boom, boom. That would be a squeeze level to look at. That's quite a way away though, isn't it? If I was to look at the, imagine you take out this 21.2, it's 10% away. So let's see, that'll take quite a lot of doing. But this is still far, far from its old highs, 2011 of basically 50 something, it's like 100% away from where it is now, more. So let's see if we can take out 26 first. That's pretty obvious for Barrick. Next one, Agnico-Eagle. This one looks a bit more like Newmont. So support, well, straight away I can see this. It wasn't straight, but you know what I mean? This level here. Go on, let's make a better line out of it. So this line here, your pre-gap, but also traditional support. Then your post-gap, so nearby. So you got here the buy, here the buy. Then you've got the ascending itself. And in case you lose the ascending, it could dip down to sort of this area. And then who knows, climb back up within the ascending line. So that'd be a good dip buy. And then, yeah, then the Agnico-Eagle is a very, very strong buy the dip stock. So even if we've lost the ascending support intraday, you could just buy, around 76 point something, and then up it goes and closes above 78. And then you've got this beautiful hammer candle within the ascending still on the daily, and then up we go to new highs 1 or 2 days later. So that's what I got for support on the way down. Don't think we're going to be below 76, so I won't bother with the obvious yellow here, which I've just done. Then resistance, let's move that up. It's now 85. Let's see if we can close above 85, which we still haven't done. And then, to be honest, 88 is so nearby that I might as well move it up to the absolute all-time high, 89 point something. Let's move it up. So imagine you close at 85, on Wednesday, Tuesday or something. All you need is 4% to make, or 5 definitely to start closing above 90. And then you're at absolute new all-time highs. And it's another one, another, gold miner that's made new all-time historic highs, a bit like Wheaton. Next one, Pan America. This one is a tough one that I added to. Yeah, so I mentioned, right, that I chased a little bit intra-week, like Thursday. That was me being an idiot. I was selling, and then I was saying, okay, I'm done selling. I'm gonna hold. This is me a couple of days ago, or even last week. I was selling into the move a bit early. And then I was saying, okay, enough selling. I'm gonna hold. What do? I start buying the absolute all-time high, not heavy, just buying mini nibbles, but pretty much at the high of day on Thursday. Not the high of day, but the high for some of the stocks. So Pan America, I think I bought 22.61. Oh my God, it's embarrassing, but it's true. 22.61. I nibbled a little bit, and here we are, bam, where I actually thought we would end up a few days ago. So that's funny. It's not that much. The account is doing so well that I don't care, but it's the principle. I shouldn't have chased. I should have left my strategy in place. I like to just think of my strategy on a Sunday, sober as I am now, and then just let it ride from Monday to Friday. But then again, you got to stay nimble and adapt to situations. But me, it's the wrong type of adaptation. When I think about adapting, it's like market crash is all of a sudden happening. Okay, time to trim 20% across the board, or even though it might hurt, you can buy it back 30% lower, so it'd be worth it. That wasn't what I was doing. I was just thinking, this is going to happen. Let's buy the silver stocks that you sold. I nibbled a little bit out, right, a few days ago, and I regretted it. And I was buying basically what I sold back higher. And then here we are, the next day, we're closing at low of the on Friday. But I still don't think the thesis is changing. I still think silver is going to make that breakout of 3250/33, and these silver stocks will be much higher. And I think Pan America was one of the ones I advocated as a chaser stock because, it should be all the way up here, 25, 24.50 at least right now. So let's cover the levels. Right, well, obviously It's a bit of a hard one to call, I think. That's a level, I reckon. Then you got the pre-gap level. Oops, that's not straight. Then you got the post close the gap level. These are just levels. And then you got the low down here. You also have, let's be honest, yeah, it's the one I took away. The prior resistance is taken that out. It's closed below anyway. I'm just wondering on a 15-minute chart basis, do you have something here or is it already taken out? It's already taken out. Okay, back to daily. I honestly, I don't see it going all the way down to 20.5. Even if we move down, how much of a drop is that from where we are? You know what I mean? 4.5%, 5% to get down here. It could go down 2.5%, 3% on Monday and then reverse. So I just feel like something like here, you know? I'll just leave it short because it's not going to get down here, but it could get something like here, which is 21. Okay, fine, I'll call it 21. 21 should be a level. Then you got your 20.4. Then you got the pre-gap. Then you got the post-gap. And then you got the absolute lows. And then you got the absolute horizontal from down here, which you'll never get to. That's on the way down. I don't see any real ascending. No point in putting this in place or anything. I think it's better to keep the horizontals. Now on the way up, it's the high of last week or this week. That's for sure. And then you've got this level, but that's so close it doesn't count. So let's move it up to the next one of those, which is up there. I think I would do something like that for the levels on the way up. You know, up we go. Okay, okay. Already this is a bit of a level, but I'm not going to put that in. 22.3, you can see we hit it 3 times out of 4. But yeah, close above this 22.8. And then you're running to the second last line of defense, which is 23.5. Here it's just too close. And then bam, the old highs, 52-week highs of 24.2. That's definitely happening if we're running in silver. And then, yeah, I do not disagree with this squeeze potential. 30 is huge resistance. Huge. Look at the support it was back here too. I think that kind of counts. I know it's a bit rough, but you can see generally that support, even resistance here. So 30 is a big level and then clear resistance here. And it's a clear big number. So okay, I'm not going to bother with levels above that, but that's what I got for Pan America. Lots of levels on the way down. So if it does go down, I will be buying dips. I mean, I've already bought pops, so of course I prefer it lower. But I'll be a bit calmer on the drops because I see there are lots of mini levels, but I'll be stronger on the way down. Next, Wheaton precious metals. This can go. That used to make sense. In fact, this can be replaced with the old high. I think this is a level straight away. You can see how many times we hit that. Again, you've got this gap. They've all got the gap pretty much. The ascending, I'll extend. Then you got the post gap close. Oops. Yeah. And then here, which I don't think we'll get to, but who knows? No, this I can ignore for now. So on the way down, realistically, this could get hit. Then you got the pre-gap, that can get hit. Then you got the gap itself. And then you got strong support here. Not just this horizontal, but also the ascending. On the way up, you've got the resistance, and then that's it. There's nothing on the left. It's just look at GDX or look at gold or whatever, just big round numbers. So what if you took out 65, then 66, maybe 67, maybe 68, maybe, etc., etc. Next one, Franco Nevada. Oh, 30. 30 was resistance. In fact, we almost closed above 130. Didn't do it. It's so disappointing. Clear resistance. Let's move it up. Now it's here. It's basically 130, let's be honest. Close above 130. And then we might as well add this in case there's the fake out. So 130, let's just put it in between those two lines. Support should be prior resistance. That's kind of correct. Let's move it down to make up for most recent reality. So here's your buy. Next level to buy. Maybe here if it's a weak drop. Next level. You could say here. It's a bit of a gap. They've all got that sort of gap, but this is so small, I'm just going to leave it as one line. What is that, 122 or something? Let's call it 122, and then we'll extend this, and I don't see it going lower, but whatever. There you go. These are your machine gun levels on the way down. On the way up, it's this and that. That'll combine as one, and then 140. Still continues to be weak. Doesn't drop too much, but just failed to do that 130 breach and clear. So not good enough. Metalla. This one has outperformed for some time, but finally one ugly candle after some time. Hasn't had that. I mean, this is a very, very steep descending that I see straight away. But now it's held. That probably coincides with that. First level, second level, that's $3. The descending, I don't think we can keep that anymore. Yeah, we can actually, Jesus. Extending it. This is a hard one. Okay, so resistance is this, and then of course this, and then we know it's going to go all the way up to $4. Maybe not in one go. It could encounter this on the way up. On the way down, you have the ascending and this level here, 310. Then you got $3, psychological and prior resistance. Then I don't know. Then does it retest 290? You don't really want it to get there. That would be annoying. That would be psychologically damaging if you close below 3. And then down here, maybe I don't see this happening at all. It should hopefully, it should just sort of not close below 310. Definitely, you don't want to see it below 3. That would just be all that hard work sort of lost. So we need that 350 plus close. All right, that will do. Let me just leave this here. Next one. Okay, now we get to the silver ones. I mentioned Pan America Silver. Newmont, I think I didn't mention that I added to. I added that one in the dark, actually. That was just whilst I was buying everything. I saw Newmont red on Friday. I bought, it was like the only stock I bought on Friday was just a little buy of Newmont. I was chasing the silver stocks on Thursday. Newmont is not a silver stock. I just added Newmont on Friday. I forgot where. I think it's kind of where it is now. I think it was below 54, so, and we're at low of day here, so it must have been where it is. But that was just like not much. So the silver stocks, this is what I bought on Thursday. I don't know where I bought it, but I bought them pretty much near the highs. First Majestic was probably around 650 something. That's quite funny. Okay, so the levels. Let's start off with the levels. Yes, 5. What I'm going to call it, it's tough. This one, I don't think I can get too precisely, but you see what I'm trying to do there, right? That's your resistance, bam, breaks out, retest, keeps going. So let's say 590-ish should be support, give or take 5 to 10 cents, if I can say that. It should be really strong if it starts going below that. So first level is here. Well, first level is really where it is, to be honest. After that, I don't know. I don't see it doing this at all. Remember, we had really good buyback news, but I'm going to just do it in case there's some out of the blue silver crash, which I absolutely do not foresee, but you never know with the markets. There's no point in putting these levels in, I think, but whatever, it's quick and easy. Now, on the way up, I think we're at a level, right? It's resistance. It's kind of acting as support. So I'm just going to leave it there. And then, of course, there's only one level to really consider on the move up, and that's, let me get rid of this. I don't need that. It's really this. It's this big circle. It's this big circle here. Now, obviously, the high of week is 660. So that's something, let's take out the last week, this week, whatever. This week's high, 660. And then it's all about this. This 685, let's call it, give or plus or minus 5 cents. 685-ish. You really want to, a 690 close would be ideal, then you've really cleared it. And also you've taken out this, this descending, which I don't know how many people see that one. So for me, big level here to take out on First Majestic, 690. You do that and you're just gonna run. I don't care about this little gap. You're gonna run probably to, can I say 760? That seems pretty aggressive, but this would be happening if silver is running to new highs. So yes, you can. Plus, we've had good news, buyback news. So, good news is the last news. So that should help with the wind in the sails. And remember, zoom out, you are not buying at all-time highs, are you? You're down here. Even at $9, you're nowhere near. Nowhere near. Look where the COVID highs is. Remember, we're looking at COVID highs. Look where First Majestic is 25. That's like, from there to here, from here to there, it's retirable moves. You can retire off that. Even if you're not all in. So, yeah, those are the levels I'm watching. I'm just gonna add a little yellow here because you could get a squeeze next week, and I think First Majestic, it's not too much to ask for it to go to like $7 or $8 on a squeeze. So those are the levels. I'm paying attention more to the ones on the way up. I'm not buying more on the way up because I've already bought that level. Normally I would have said I've already sold that level, but really here I don't know, I just had a bit of a eureka moment on Thursday and I bought the silver stocks. What can I say? So, I added to some of the best silver stocks. First Majestic being one of them. Next, no, sorry, next is Fortuna, I think I normally cover. Not as strong, clear resistance, obvious resistance. I don't think I added to this one. I think it's one of the only silver stocks I didn't add to actually. So resistance is 514-ish. You would take 4 cents. And then I used to say 540, but it might be 545. Again, plus minus 5 cents. And then the gap fill. And then why not all the way up here if we have an absolute silver squeeze? The go-to names should squeeze, and Fortuna is one of them. In fact, all the ones I own are one of them. And that's why I own them, because I can count on them to do what I expect silver stocks to do when silver breaks out. So that's why I hated all these silver juniors, because silver's up 20% and your junior's down 7 with no liquidity, no volume, this is down 7. And if you had that capital elsewhere, like Hecla, it's going to go up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%, whether there's any news or not, is just following silver. So that's, you're there to outperform the ETF. Otherwise, just buy the ETF. All right, Fortuna's resistance 514. After that, 545-ish. After that, gap fill. After that, all the way up here, 630. On the way down, low of week, 460, whatever, 5-ish. This is irrelevant. I think I'd place that there. And to be honest, that will probably coincide with your... Did we retest? Not really. Okay. So there you go. There you go. That's what I've got on the way down. Make sense? Next one is my favorite one, which I bought at like 760 something. Such an idiot. I should be selling. Yeah. All right. So the big sell zone, I end up buying my own sell zone. Look at how obvious that is. Okay. So let's cover the moves on the way down. So again, prior resistance was there. So that is, yeah, that's your first buy. Here, it's too close. It's too close. What I'm going to do is cheat and just say this zone is a buy zone. And I'm covering like 20 cents range here. So I'm cheating a little bit, I think. After that, yes, here, traditional resistance, traditional support, yeah, definitely. And it's $6. Okay, that's why that was an interesting range. Then you got the, plus it's a pre-gap zone. Then you got the post-gap fill zone. I've invented a new terminology here in this video. Post-gap fill, basically gap fill. And then I'm going to just inch this up, just get like 429. There you go. And then can you imagine going all the way to 460? How much I'm going to regret that buy up there at 760. You'll never get there, but it's just too obvious to not paint in. So your sell zone, I think I'm going to make this a bit smaller now. I need to calm down. Sell zone is my buy zone. 770, let's call it. Okay, let's move that up a couple cents. And then after 760, I really can't believe that we're talking about these levels, but if we squeeze, we will be looking at these levels. I think this descending. Yeah, this descending up here. And let's make it a bit smaller. Let's say around here. And let's see what that really is. That's what that is. That's that descending. And then yeah, $11. Wow, 10 is irrelevant. Look at that. I see no resistance at 10. Okay, that's CDE. Next is Hecla. So this is no longer a zone. It was before. It isn't now. Goodbye. For some reason, I see this is a bit of a zone. Quite a few candles there. 650, let's call it. And if that happens, yeah, then it's 630, the old breakout, and then we're down here, and that's when you hit the ascending. Yeah, interesting. The ascending is quite far away, actually. It's quite steep. And I don't see us going below $6. Don't see that happening. That would be how much it moved from where we are? 10, 11% drop. It could happen, but I don't see it happening, so I won't pencil that in. And actually, it's going to be around this level-ish here, 540 if we do drop. That'd be quite a drop, actually. We are certainly not going down here. Now, if we take out the high of week, which is 740, then we move up to, why do we go there? Yes, the last high, 770. And after that, we're going straight past 8 to this pre-gap 850 zone. Yes. We take out 850. I'm not going to put the gap for the 860. Then we're probably squeezing, and Hecla is definitely a squeeze candidate. And you might as well go to the absolute old high, 950. So I agree with that. Next is EXK. I mean, this one here, it's interesting, this one got demolished on bad news. And I remember down here, I bought this dip, but I was scared buying it, and that's normal, I think. And now where are we? All the way up here. The only way a move from down here to all the way up there can happen on a stock that's had very bad news is if the price of the underlying metal is squeezing, which is what has been happening. And I did not add to this one because I know it's a bad news stock. Which ones did I buy? First Majestic, Hecla, and Pan American Silver. Sorry, First Majestic, Coeur d'Arlène, Hecla. I didn't mention I bought Hecla, but I bought Hecla too, I think. And Pan American Silver. Now, what have they got in common? They've all had good news. Pan American Silver, not so much, but they're either good, strong, established stocks, like Pan American Silver, or they've had good news, like First Majestic, like Coeur d'Arlène, and like Hecla. Because that's what all, they're the first ones to go up and they're the ones to go down the least. And when the metal moves, you can count on them moving too. So that's why I bought them. And EXK, I've got a lot in them already. All of them, I've got a lot in them already. It's they used to be light holdings. Now, because they've moved up so much, they're medium without adding or even selling out of them. And I just made those ones that I listed that I added to, I made them heavy. That was the point of nibbling on them. But EXK, not going to add to that, didn't add to that because it's a bad stock in my books because it's had bad news recently. Even though if the silver goes to 34, 40, it's probably one of the best ones to be in because it's just going to have so much alpha run to it. So I say that to say this, I didn't add to it. Let's look at the levels, which doesn't change whether I added to or not. The levels are quite easily identifiable. I think that's what I like about this one here, which means nothing changes. Resistance, absolutely nothing's changed there. 430 is, let's just make it a bit bigger, this yellow, even though it's obvious. Support, I mean, yeah, prior resistance, therefore support, I agree. And then, you know what, nothing to really draw in, it's all correct. It's all correct. We're not going down here. Unless we have a serious crash in silver, then we would. The XK would be one of the first ones to drop fastest. Gap fill. Yeah, there you go. These can go because they were for resistance, and that was correct. And just for that reason, I think it'll be support, 380. Nothing where it is though. So either we go down to 380 or we start to re-attack 430. And if we start attacking on the way up 430, 460, 480, 5. And after 5, 580. That can only happen on a squeeze. The only thing I'm wondering is whether it's here or there. So I'll do it in the middle there, 340, let's say. Yeah. There you go. That's EXK. Mag Silver. I think I added to Mag Silver because it was my lightest holding and because it hasn't had bad news. So you can see how it never made new lows, unlike Fortuna, unlike EXK, right? Mag didn't make new lows because it didn't have bad news, didn't have good news. It did have good news a while ago, but such a long time ago, I think that it doesn't count. But hasn't had bad news, therefore it made new highs. Resistance is here. You could almost say we hit it 1550. I've got 1580. Oh yeah, up here. It went there. 1550. Fair enough. 50-cent increments. Resistance is pretty much around here. Yeah, all there. Okay, fair enough. You could say both. So this level, then you've got this level. If you keep going, you've got this level. So really between 14 and 14.20. And then you've got this $13 level. And then you have, shouldn't really have to do the gap fill zone, but go on gap fill and then the absolute low, which I don't see happening at all. On the way up, you've got the old high, which is 1550. And then you've got this 1580 thing. And then you've got 17. That's a nice one. It'd be really good if we got to 17. Yeah. Now, if there's a squeeze, Mag Silver could start making a move above 17. And I've got that covered at 1850 because Mag Silver is one of the safe ones. I think it's going to be one of the go-to plays, you know? Yeah, that could definitely. I mean, this should go back to 24. If silver starts to run high 30s and it holds for a while, the earnings, I mean, this should be one of the ones that goes back up to 24. And that is a very nice move, almost 100% from where it is. And that's on a pretty safe and established big senior mine. Right, we're done with the silver stocks. Aris Mining. Yeah, okay. So that I agree with pretty much where it is actually. 460-ish. Not so much because it used to be resistance, just because of I see something there. Then you got your gap fill zone. I'm gonna call it 440 in the middle because it's so illiquid. There's no point in being too precise, like it's 446 and 440. Let's just call it 443 in the middle. And then you've got also a bit of ascending support there. Yeah, then you got this here, and then you got this down there. I think that's all I need to do about this one. On the way up, it's going to be the old high put in here at 5, just below 520. There's also a bit of a one here at $5. That's worth penciling in. And if we start to take that out, we should just keep climbing towards the next clear resistance, which is 620-ish. Probably stop off at 6 the way this has been going. Next is iron gold. Yeah, not the best candle there. Went lower than we've been in 2 weeks. Didn't close below the other candles, but still. So a lot of resistance here at 560. A lot. That'll be hard to crack, I reckon. So 560 is your resistance. And then after that, apparently we are at 6. And then you got, okay, lots of little levels here. That's fine. Bam, 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 bam. Machine gun your way out of that one. Just nibble out. First clear support is going to be $5, but that seems like quite a way away from where we are now. I know 5%, that's doable. Okay, $5. So you want to buy above 5 before you enter the gap. So probably 506 or something by there if you really want to get in, if you think that's the low. Otherwise, you have the gap fill 490, whatever. You're probably going to go lower. So around the 4, just below 480. And then you're going to hit prior resistance over here, 430. We're not going to go below that, but I've got them in anyway. That's covered. Next one is B2 Gold. Close at low of week. Pretty much near support because that was prior resistance, just below 320. We closed at 320. So I'm going to say 318-ish. So you're pretty much at support. If we go lower, 305, yeah, $3 is a level just above $3 because it used to be, actually, was it really resistance? Not really. Not really. It just went all the way from 290 to 320. I'm going to leave it in because that's quite a drop and it's had good news and it's massively under-owned, undervalued. And remember the type of news it has, like geostrategic Mali government negotiations. So it probably won't drop too much. So I'm going to leave that one there, even though it's not the strongest buy zone. This one is strong. This is a buy. And then this is a huge buy, and it's not going to go lower than that because that's also a gap fill. I'll leave that like that. It's not going lower, but I'll leave that anyway. That's why I got B2 Gold. Now on the way up, obviously we need to take out this 340, which was clear resistance. Again, it's very long-term descending, so it kind of makes sense that it didn't just go through it like that, even though it had the good news. Thing is, it had the good news all the way down here at 280. So it already did a pretty nice 25% move before hitting very strong resistance. So it just needs to breathe, go back down, and then once it takes this out again, bam, that'll be a huge move. That's why I'm going to leave the next resistance at 380, which is from 340, yeah, over 10% move. And then the next one will be all the way up here. So I'm going to leave B2G as it is. Equinox. And in the end, what was resistance? The old high all the way up here, 52 weeks, 650. Makes sense. At the time, you're getting all emotional. I don't think I bought Equinox, even though it's quite a nice alpha runner. I was more into just pure silver stocks at that point when I chased on Thursday. Support, yeah, I'd say, that's a bit of a level. $6. Okay, that reassures me. I didn't notice a big round number. Then after that, it's the retest, which would probably coincide with this pre-gap fill zone. I would have two, one pre-gap fill, one post-gap fill. You see what I mean? The retest, it kind of coincides anyway. And then all the way down here, we're not going to go lower than that. Now, if we take out 650 and run, 7 should be light resistance. And then 750 should be stronger resistance. And then the absolute high up here, $9, huge resistance, probably stop off on the way. Next is SSRM. This one was good. This one could have ran a lot more, but look, it had a drop, down 3%. But the day before on Thursday, it made new highs. So the drop is just retesting recent breakout of 6. So 6 is a level. And it's okay, it closed below it. Would have been better if it closed above, but for me, it's still hanging around support. After that, you've got the low here. I'm going to move it down. It's actually there. So support is here. Resistance, I mean, that's secondary support, of course. So what have we got? We've got here, here, here. The descending. Normally, yes, but this is quite a big level, and that's quite a big drop. So if you close below that, I'm more inclined to think about this. Put it in the middle, the gap fill zone. I don't know if this retest of the descending, maybe. Let's just mark something there. And then here, yeah. Now on the way up, I'm leaving it because I know there's going to be every 50-cent increments. I can't be bothered to draw in every 50 cents. And then this will be a huge one. It's not going to get there, and that's very obvious. So no point in drawing that in. Next is SBSW. I don't always cover this one with the same conceptual outlook because it's not pure gold, silver, but We've got multi-commodity breakout with the Chinese stimulus, and this one counts. It's starting to move like all the others. In fact, more on the way up and on the way down. I leave this box in to remind me. I've been shifting it the whole time. It's just always been relevant. So this is kind of your zone. Yes, we popped below. I bought that little move, so that was nice, and sold some of it up here. Now we kept going. Next level I've had is 460. That kind of proved to be a zone. So let's draw it in. 460. If we go higher, $5. If we go higher, all the way up there. That could happen quickly with this stock. Now here, this I can move down. It's not as big or relevant anymore. But if we start to move down, which you can see we've done a bit, I've got this retest of the descending breakout. It's more because of the descending breakout. Yeah, basically $4, around $4. It's a bit rough over here. You can't see it, but I can tell that's a zone. If that gets lost, yeah, this would be a zone. I'm not gonna buy it though. I'd look for it to go all the way back down again. Those are my levels. Whether I'll buy on each one or not, I don't know. But this is probably something. This one here is probably one which would really make you money. Because if this is a commodity breakout, if the dollar goes below 99.5, the DXY, Chinese stimulus just keeps going, and it should keep commodities elevated. Inflation picks up again, even though things go down because people think they're going to increase rates. We know they're dropping them. This could start a huge run now. We've seen the low, probably. And whether it's here or it's at $6, same thing, it could run. This one I'm very excited about. It's a bit like SSRM. It's a bit of a special case which could really see a big return. So I'm going to keep these levels in now. And this box, I'm going to delete. It's in the way. And I know the history of this box. So from now on, no box. All right, that'll do. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm really focused on my portfolio this week. And it's time to take it very, very seriously. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to keep retracing as we did on Friday a bit? Have we seen a bit of a top and some consolidation, which I used to think? Or is silver going to squeeze and keep gold up or sideways and not, keep it from dropping? Because a silver squeeze, I have a feeling it's going to happen. I really do. I think all stars are aligned. We've even got this extra excuse of the Chinese stimulus and the Israeli escalation. Not sure if that affects silver too much, but the Chinese stimulus has seen the commodity spark. So silver has finally got what it needs. All right, let's see. Let me know what you think. And like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff, please. Thank you.